first of all, I want to again publicly thank you for participating in, helping. And I want everyone to go to the hub.news and see how amazing it is. And a lot of that amazingness came because I had the security to be able to make some moves as a result of Teri Ijeoma's participation financially in making that happen. So I would say that publicly. And it started as a challenge because, everybody thinks, what you do is, is not real. You get a lot of that. So I was like, all right, let's do it. And we filmed it. You showed your little charts and everything. We went step by step. Folk got to see during an election time where the stock market was bananas.
Crazy. Yes. It was so crazy. But what was so cool is we actually showed, for a little while, we were going every week and then every couple weeks, we showed the process. So if anybody wants to see that, definitely go to YouTube, check that out. I know it's on Karen's page. You probably have to search Trade and Travel or something, but yeah, that was it was the Hub Challenge. Yep.
It was the Hub Challenge. Yep.
That was hashtag that. That was great. That was really cool.
And I had already believe in the things you do. Not that I swing trade because I don't day trade at all, but I have seen enough people come through your program who, swear by it. We just had another conference and, one of the people came up to me and was like, I was one of the people that did $1,000 in a day. I was one. What was it? $1,000 a day challenge you had?
Yes. We were having 1,000 people making $1,000 in a day is $1 million a day that we can generate. So yeah, we actually are closer to past 2,000. Can you imagine making $2 million in a day that we can use in our communities? Just the knowledge to be able to do that. Some people were trading in their sim accounts with paper money, but they know how to. And then others were trading with their real money. But just the fact that our people, because 88% of the people in Trade and Travel are people of color. So our people are able to generate that much income in our own communities. That's really cool.
We were talking earlier about Elon Musk he just raised $46.5 billion to purchase Twitter. And I've been talking about him for a couple of weeks because I was like, I remember when there was no Tesla. Yeah. And he is surpassed, he's the richest man in the world because of the stock market, because of the stock that he owns. He doesn't have to pay taxes because of the stock, because he makes his money on stocks, not, he lives off of the investment. He's not taking a salary, so he doesn't have to pay income tax because he's making his money differently. Can you just, as somebody that has been in this now for almost a decade, doing this regularly, what's the value of trading versus working a job? Because you did that. You were a vice principal of a school and doing things out there, teaching the children and administrating. Talk about that.
I've been trading now actually 12 years, so over a decade.
I'm sorry.
Mm-hmm. I started in 2010, so this is 2022. Oh man, that's a long time. But the benefit for me, I had someone ask me that yesterday, like, why not just passively invest? Why not tell people to just leave it in there for the long run? Because that's what we usually hear. Just keep it till retirement. But the thing is, there's a lot of people that are millionaires on paper, but broke in real life because they have a lot of money sitting in the stock market, but they can't use it. So active investing is where you can use that money to start paying for things in real life. For me, y'all know I was assistant principal of elementary school and I needed the money to pay my bills so I could replace my income and then go travel, pay for the trips, pay for the hotel room, right? But that's why I think it's so important for people to learn how to actively invest so they can use the money now instead of just waiting 30 years or however long it takes to get to retirement.
And so the method, you're not a day trader, you're a swing trader. Just tell us the difference and, how does that work?
Sure. So I look at the market every day because I'm a technical analysis trader. We're looking at candlesticks and charts to figure out what's the best time to enter a stock and what's the best time to exit. So I'm looking at the market every day, seeing where this price is moving for the stocks, but I only make a trade when the price comes to where I want it to come. So when it's come down into a buyer's level or when it's gone up into a seller's level, I make my move. And then for my students and myself, we wait until it gets to our next target to sell. That could be the next day. That could be a couple weeks from now. It could be a couple months from now. But that's the difference between day and swing trading. If you were day trading, you'd be in the stock and out of the stock the same day. I've done that too. I've done well in that. But especially in this market, because it's volatile, I suggest being more of a swing trader. Give your stock time to get to your target.
All right. We just left Monday was tax day. One of the biggest questions I think people have as you're collecting these large sums. And again, Teri, you've made $1 million in a day. You've made, yeah, I know. I'm $100,000 in a day. Like you have made a lot of money in a day, in a month. I'm imagining over the course of a year, multiple millions of dollars. How does that, how are you in the IR and the S?
So good thing is you have to be smart about it. No matter what kind of side hustle you have, you're going to have to pay taxes. Whether you're driving Uber, you are doing consulting work on the side, you're going to have to pay taxes no matter what. But as an active investor, they just treat it like income. So you add whatever amount you've made, you add it to your income, and then whatever tax bracket you're at, they charge you that tax bracket. So I think some people think, oh man, it's going to be, super high, 40%. No, if your level is at 15% and you made just a little bit in trading, you're still going to be at 15% for all of the tax. So trading actively, that is day and swing trading, that's just taxed as regular income. So people shouldn't worry like, oh my God, it's so much more. If you got a raise or a bonus, it'd be taxed the same.
So when you make those, multiple zero gains in a day, do you automatically throw that money in an IRS fund, or do you just send it to the IRS immediately?
So you're not looking My taxes are done a little bit differently because I'm trading as a company. So now I am, but I tell you the truth, when I was first starting, and this is advice for everybody else, it's cheaper to trade as an individual. So I traded as an individual for a long time. And we talked about where I live. Now I live in Puerto Rico. It's even cheaper for me to trade as an individual in Puerto Rico because I can file for like zero taxes in Puerto Rico. Whole different conversation. But
that was yes.
But now as I trade, oftentimes I'm trading for my company, and a company is taxed at the company's tax rate.
Now, speaking of Puerto Rico, we didn't talk about this, but there was an 8-1 decision in favor of Joe Biden's administration, which wanted to reverse a lower court ruling from 1972 that would give Puerto Rico and Puerto Ricans supplemental security income, SSI, which includes Social Security and other things. So they reversed that. The only dissenter was Sonia Sotomayor, whose parents were from Puerto Rico. And she pointed out that the island does not have voting representation in Congress. And so Congress, who set this law, it shouldn't apply to Puerto Rico because they don't have representation. So it's like, you're taking away something from them without them being able to vote on it one way or the other. But she was the only one that stood fast. And it's based on a case by a gentleman, 67-year-old man who was living in New York. He was disabled. He got SSI, and then he moved to Puerto Rico in 2013, and the government sued him to get back the money, $28,000 that they had paid him, because they said Puerto Rico is not eligible. You're not eligible in Puerto Rico to get that money. The flip side is you don't have to pay them taxes, which you just mentioned. So.
Right. Like, I don't want to get too deep into the politics, but I'll say there's benefits for us not being a state, and then there's benefits for us being a state. So, or considered in tax the same way.
Yes.
Right now I'm benefiting from the fact that we're not taxed the same way.
866-801-8255. A lot of crypto people moving to Puerto Rico too for that reason. But let's go to the phones. You wanted to do before we get to the callers, and a few waiting to talk with you. You wanted to do like a 101. This is Financial Literacy Month. I think it is. April is still Financial Literacy Month. So I was like, all right, Teri, come on in. 101, real quick. How to trade.
One big thing I want to bring to people's attention is oftentimes people tell you just invest in what you know. Go on your phone, go through the companies that you like, and they say invest in what you know. But right now in this market, I need you all to actually learn how to trade and read charts so that you can invest when the company is healthy and when the stock chart is healthy. Prime example of that is yesterday, Netflix had their earnings and their stock fell $100. And somebody might say, well, what is earnings? once a quarter, every 3 months, companies report how they're doing. They let you know where their company is going, their expenses, their revenue. And what we saw is that right now, Netflix subscribers have not been increasing. So if you had just invested in what you know and said, well, I watch Netflix every day, it's good for me, you would have been in a bad situation because right now the company's not healthy. So that's why I really want you guys to start looking at charts and learning how to pick the right times to get in and out of a stock before you start investing.
Don't be emotional, be technical. This is yes, don't be emotional. This is not emotional. 33.5% of African Americans are invested in the stock market. Most of that is through a 401k plan at work. What's wrong with that for you, Teri Ijeoma?
Right now, so it really depends where you work. There are some companies like Walmart, Target, they're having a great time right now. Their companies their stock prices just went to all-time highs. But then you have others in the tech sector and their stock prices have been cut almost a third or more. Like I'm thinking about, and y'all, this is educational purposes only. I'm just giving you ideas, but not telling you what to do. But I'm thinking about like Adobe and Facebook. Last year, Adobe's stock was at $600, $700. Now it's down to $400. So if you're a worker there and a lot of your benefits was in company stock, then you're feeling like, what happened? I'm lost a lot of my equity. So not only do I want you to invest in your 401k and your company's equity and retirement plans, but I need you to also have some money on the side. It could even be in a retirement, a self-directed IRA, but where you can decide where the money goes. I want you to just get some of the control back so you're not watching your account go down and not having any control.